welcome you all once again to Marine Mechanic videos, and the topic for the day is ejector. Before proceeding to the working of an ejector, we will understand what is an ejector and a simple construction of an ejector. In my previous videos, one of my videos, I have explained you the concept of air lift or the lift mechanism, of showing a simple experiment with a paper blowing air on top of it so that the paper lifts. I'll post the link over here, just click it and recollect the concepts. With that concept in mind, we'll proceed constructing an ejector. So there are 4 simple steps which I have put over here. So let's start with step number 1. Let's assume that we have a fluid, let's say air or water, whatever, a fluid under high pressure on the upstream of the valve. So this is the upstream and this is the downstream. Alright? So this valve is shut now. So here is pressure energy and the velocity is 0 now because there is no flow of fluid and the valve is shut. And on the downstream, we have a nozzle over here. This is the nozzle which is converging in nature. Now on the second step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this valve. So the fluid which is under high pressure is going to flow to the low pressure region. So there's going to be a drop in pressure. So the fluid over here passes through this valve, and then due to the converging nozzle, there is drop in pressure and increase in velocity. So that's the purpose of nozzle. I will write it over here. What it does is drop in pressure and increase in velocity. To be more technically specific, the pressure energy is converted into kinetic energy. And if you find too complex, we'll just simply call it as there's a pressure drop, and thus the velocity increases at the nozzle. So there's a flow outside like this. Let's assume this to be air. So there's an airflow out like this. On the third step, we will understand clearly what is happening due to this airflow. Now as the air flows, I'll just change the color. There are some air particles which are surrounding this flow. So these particles are set in motion, and these are called as eddies. And these eddies are circulating, or we don't know the nature of these eddies, and these are called as eddy currents. If this is air, this is called as air eddy currents, and if this is water, these are water eddies. If the water is flowing and you have air particles nearby, then the air is set in eddies. So this also starts moving along with this. Now what I'm going to do is, on the step 3, with the flow of fluid from the high pressure zone via the nozzle out, what I'm going to do is insert a tube on top like this. Something like this. Cover the nozzle. I'm going to insert a tube like this. So I'm inserting this nozzle and pipe arrangement inside a tube. Now what happens is the eddies are wiped off, or the eddies are more streamlined. What happens is, along with this water or air particle, the eddies also start to travel like this, and it also starts sucking air from the surrounding. And in this manner, the eddies are more streamlined. Now when I go to step 4, I'm going to put the same pipe, but the opening is not over here, but it is at the down. Let's say I'm covering over here, and then, Alright, so this is the pipe and I'm having an opening here. Now the eddies are going to travel along with the fluid flow or air flow, and then it's going to start sucking air from here. So finally, what we understand from this is we have a high pressure fluid which is called as the motive fluid or the motion fluid, because this is the prime source of energy which sets the secondary fluid to flow. That's why it's called as motive fluid. We have the high pressure fluid and a nozzle arrangement which is converging in nature, and this nozzle creates a pressure drop and thus resulting in high velocity of the motive fluid, which is the primary fluid. Since the primary fluid flows through high velocity, there are eddies set up in the surrounding, and this eddies, if it is channelized inside a pipe, this will take in air which is more of streamlined in nature, and when we close these two areas of the pipe and then have an opening at the down like this, it will start sucking in air and then it will start ejecting the air out. So this is a simple construction of an ejector. In the next video, we'll see the detailed construction of an ejector and its working.